What's up, beautiful besties? It is Mystic Monday, where we take a look at what's coming in for the energy of this week. Of course, this is the Divine Feminist by Turning Tides Tarot, and my name is Alicia, just in case you don't already know. And yeah, if you like my vibe here, please don't be shy, subscribe, and join our incredible glow up gang. But yeah, let's take a look at what's coming in for our beautiful, beautiful collective for the week ahead. Okay. Yeah, please don't mind my raspy voice. I spent a lot of time last night having so much fun and singing my butt off. Okay. Just having a little bit of a karaoke party. Anyways, I love singing, but I think I went a little bit too overboard and I'm losing my voice. But anyway, what's going on this week? What energy is flowing in this week for our collective? Starting with the swords, hey? We are actually reading this energy in the Capricorn full moon vibe. So let us see what is going on. And in true fashion, my goodness, we have the Emperor, we have the Devil. Well, the Devil is Capricorn energy. Let's just find out what this is. My goodness, what we're moving into or what's flowing towards us this week. Jeez. Okay, besties, honestly, I'm gonna get into the energy that's flowing in for us this week, but listen, I gotta be so for real with you right off the top here. I don't like it. I really don't. We've got the Six of Swords, the Nine of Swords, the Knight of Wands reversed, the Emperor, the Devil, okay? And yeah, it's a lot, okay? So before we get super dramatic, all right, maybe a little bit more dramatic, I really want to remind you that we are sitting in, again, this big full moon in Capricorn energy right now. And of course, the Devil, it correlates with, it's the Capricorn energy in the tarot, right? So it's not totally shocking that it showed up, but still, right? Still. This energy kind of feels like a heavy push to move on from something that's really been keeping us up at night. Okay, so mentally, emotionally, and maybe even spiritually with this vibe. Okay, the Six of Swords is trying to help us leave some kind of mess behind, right? But the Nine of Swords, that's spiraling kind of energy, right? So with the Knight of Wands in reversed, it's not helping. Okay, this is chaotic energy. Okay, and I just gotta be real. So there could be like someone rushing in or maybe ghosting out or just bringing in the drama with absolutely no plan. Okay, this is definitely drama energy. And so with the Emperor, I feel like that's your big boss energy, like your big take your power back moment that's gonna come through to you this week. And paired with the Devil, it tells me that it may be about confronting control, like where are we giving it away, and maybe like what do we need to do to snatch it back. Okay, so she's a little crunchy. She's a little crunchy here. This energy it feels like this week the vibe is to not fall for some kind of temptation. Okay, or let your anxiety really run the show. So it is a week to pretty much get crystal clear on, where you want to go, and who's in control of where you want to go. And by that, is it your fear? Is it your ego, or is it your higher self? Okay, so we need to really get clear on that. And like I said, it's a bit crunchy, okay, and but it is also powerful, okay, because when the Devil shows up, right, we are being asked to break free from something, and when the Emperor shows up, we know that we have the power to do it. Okay, I just it doesn't really feel like so great of a vibe. But let's get into the rest of the reading and see how we can really work with this energy. Please stick with me. Let's see if it's working on us or if we can work with it. I want to know what do we need to release this week under this, full moon vibe to stay aligned, okay, with where we want to go. What needs to be released here this week? What needs to be released this week? Let's get some details on this. Ew. it's not really like kittens and sunshine, but we can't always, I mean, life is full of ups and downs, right? So can't always have like amazing, awesome readings all the time, I guess. It's real life. It's real life. The world. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let me just get it all out here. The world, the magician. Ace of Cups in reverse. No. Oh my gosh. Why? Okay. Let's see what's at the bottom of the deck. The Seven of Cups. Okay. Okay, so we're going to talk about what we need to let go of this week, of course, in order to stay in our glow up energy. Okay. And this vibe here is kind of layered. Okay. We've got the world, the magician, Ace of Cups reversed, the Two of Wands, and Seven of Cups. And it just feels like this energy is talking about like emotional loose ends. Like, tell me why you're still staring at that one chapter or reading that. Have you ever been reading a book and like you have to like reread the same sentence over and over and over? But this is kind of like something that's happening in your world, perhaps. Maybe you're looking at this one situation over and over and over again. And I feel like there's this sense of like, maybe if I keep rereading it, if I keep looking at it again, it's going to suddenly give some kind of closure. You know what I mean? The world being here though, it's like it says something is absolutely done, like done. Like you pass a test, a cycle's complete, the karmic receipts are in. Okay. But the magician's like, cool, now what are you gonna do with all that power? Like, where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna put your energy? And this is where things get a little bit dicey. Okay, because with this reversed Ace of Cups, it's sitting here like kind of like a passive aggressive note on, your soul's fridge. And I just have to ask, like, are you pouring into connections that never had a clean ending? Like, are you still holding space for people or dreams or even versions of yourself that have already expired? Because that's pretty much where the leak in your magic is right now. And I just, like I said, I have to be real. And it's something that we need to know, because if we don't know there's a leak, we can't patch the hole, right? And with the Two of Wands and the Seven of Cups, it's like, this is kind of like the grass might be greener. Maybe I missed something. Maybe I need more time to decide, kind of an energy. And Spirit's like, no, you don't. You just need to shut the door and lock it for good this time. That's all you got to do. So what we're releasing is some kind of lingering fantasies about maybe like what could have been, especially with people who don't even deserve like a starring role in your origin story anymore. Like, or maybe we're releasing an idea that we need more emotional intel before moving forward. Nope. We know enough. Okay. We could also be, under some kind of illusion that there's a better, maybe easier path ahead if we just wait long enough. So this is funny because yesterday's reading was all about take your time. You don't need to rush. But this week, Bestie, it's like there's this call to just let something go. All right. Not every single thing gets like a sequel. Okay. So honestly, some of those soul connections here, they don't need healing. They need distance. Right? You're definitely not stuck. You're just kind of like, maybe Spirit showing me like a hallway. Have you know the hallway I'm talking about? It's like a hallway with like multiple doors. And I feel like you're standing in this hallway right now between multiple timelines. Okay. And Spirit saying, okay, it's time to pick the door that doesn't creak when you walk through it. Like, it's something new, something fresh. Okay. So my natural like progression in this type of a reading would be to go ahead and ask what challenges might try to pull us back into the old energy. And I think I still need to do that because it does look like with the devil, the first row here, I mean, it looks like we're going to be tried this week, like something's going to try and pull us backwards. Okay. So let's see, what are the challenges that might try to pull us back into old energy this week? And then we're going to see how we can get over those as well. Okay. Or mitigate them or whatever. Okay. Let's see. What are the challenges, please, Spirit, for the week? The Wheel of Fortune. Okay. Okay, hold on. What do we have here? Two of Pentacles. Decisions. Five of Swords. Eight of Swords. What the heck this week? What the heck? We have the Knight of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Okay, let me tune in. Okay, so one thing I want to say is that Spirit did not come to play with this lineup, honestly. And some may or may not like this because it does feel like a little bit of a spiritual call out, to be real, with this vibe. And I feel like there is something or someone that might try to drag us back into the old timeline this week. Because I mean, with the Wheel of Fortune, this is karma. And it's kind of like the past is knocking, like, hey, remember me? But here's the thing, like the wheel's already turning in your favor, right? So this isn't like a punishment. It could be some kind of test. And I know we are tired of being tested over here. But it could be a test to see if we're really done with that old storyline, or if we're still like secretly waiting for some kind of plot twist, okay? And then the Two of Pentacles rolls in with the, kind of mental juggling act, right? Should I reach out? Should I respond? Should I give them one more chance? Should I reopen that door just to talk? And obviously the answer is no. You already know, okay? And I have to say that I totally was oblivious for just a quick moment during this reading, but we are officially now in Mercury retrograde season, friends. Okay, so do not be surprised that the past is wanting to try to drag us back. I'm not surprised. I am no more surprised by this reading, okay? Because when Mercury goes into retrograde, it is a moment for us to kind of go, it does drag us backwards a little bit, where we do tend to look at the past a lot under this kind of an energy. And sometimes it is for closure or to make solid decisions about whether or not we're going to repeat a cycle or if we're going to move forward. Okay, so it's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm not surprised anymore about this energy. You may be hearing from, old situations, people from your past a lot this week, okay? And it might come as a temptation, but this is Spirit asking you, like, okay, make up your mind here, right? And this is kind of where it gets a little spicy, because yes, you already know, but with the Five of Swords and the Eight of Swords together, this is like messy conflict, conflicted energy, plus like a little bit of mental spiral, not gonna lie here. So it's either somebody trying to play games with your head, or you're out here gaslighting your own intuition, okay? Either way, it's a hard pass from the Glow Up Committee, okay? I'm just gonna be real with you. The Knight of Pentacles is telling me like the path ahead is slow, it is steady, but it's also real. So, it's boring to the part of you that craves the chaos, okay? It really is, like where you're headed, because I mean that's the temptation, is a little bit of the excitement, the chaos, the drama, to be pulled back into something, right? But it's a trap, it's absolutely a trap. So that's what's pulling you back. It's not necessarily the person or the past. It's really that part of you that's still kind of wired, like hardwired to chase maybe crumbs, okay, and call it destiny, right? So the challenge this week is simple, but it's brutal, of course. Do not let the past seduce you with fake stability, okay? Because you are not the same person who used to settle for the bare minimum, right? And again, this doesn't have to be romantic. It could be a friendship. It could be a job or a career path, or, anything else, a project or something that, again, you've been trying to move away from it, right? You have been. I can see that here. So whatever it is, you are definitely not meant to settle, okay? And you are definitely not meant to stay in some kind of survival mode just because it's familiar, okay? And that's where the trap is, right? So I want to know what strength or energy we can really tap into this week so that we can stay solid through this little karmic test, okay? What strength, what energy, what support do we have this week? What, to stay, to not fall for the trap, okay? Or to self-sabotage, because that looks like it could be something that shows up this week is the opportunity to, you know, repeat a cycle, self-sabotage, get lost, overanalyze our own stuff, you know. But okay, let's do it. Queen of Wands. What strength or energy can we tap into this week to stay solid? What strength or energy should we tap into this week to stay solid? What's this? What's this? Oh, Page of Cups. Okay, let's see. Okay, Queen of Cups. All right, we got 2 queens out. Loving this vibe. 6 of Wands. What's at the bottom of the deck? 4 of Cups. There's a boredom, and it's so funny that it actually lands on that Knight of Pentacles, because it's like, it's just funny. Okay. 4 of Cups. All right, let me tune in. You know what's actually pretty wild here? The strength that's showing up for this week, right? For us this week is not, it's not about force or like pushing through. It's really about knowing exactly who the hell we are and not needing to prove it to anyone, okay? Because we've got this Queen of Wands energy coming in first, which is confident, magnetic, untouchable, right? She doesn't chase, she doesn't flinch, and she sure as hell doesn't settle for breadcrumbs, okay? So if anyone's trying to tempt you back into some kind of mess, somebody who maybe breadcrumbed you in the past, you know, this queen, she's already 5 steps ahead and absolutely booked. She's busy. She don't have time for it, okay? And now the Page of Cups and the Queen of Cups coming through together, I mean, this is heart healing, you know, emotional maturity, intuition, boundaries, okay? It's not really about putting up walls, okay? Because you don't really need to do that. It's about choosing where and how you pour your energy this week. So your love isn't for sale, okay? Definitely not this week. It is absolutely sacred, and you are 100% sovereign and independent. So if someone wants access to you, they better show up like emotionally fluent, okay? Not confused, not emotionally confused, all right? But I just don't feel like they're going to show up in that way this week, not with this energy, okay? So the 6 of Wands, I mean, this is spirit saying like, keep walking, okay? You are literally winning, right? Even if you feel like no one's cheering for you just yet, bestie, for real, I am. Okay, first of all, I am. And so are other glow up queens here. Okay, we are all cheering for all of y'all. Okay, just so you know. But if you haven't seen it, you know, in your daily life, you know, it just feels like, it feels like the path you're on, it's okay. It's not a bad thing, but you need, okay, just hold on one second while I gather my thought. It's so funny because I distracted myself with like telling you how much we support you. But this is like going back to you feeling like you've already won, like you're winning. And, you know, even if, again, you don't hear it or you don't see it or you're not getting that feedback or those accolades from people in your life, the real true victory, okay, here from this energy, it really comes from choosing yourself again and again and again and again, right? Especially in cases like this week, where the old cycle is going to try to make some kind of comeback for you, okay? And I think it's funny here with this placement, again, I have to mention the 4 of Cups right on top of the Knight of Pentacles. This is the moment of like, it's kind of like you take a minute to look at things and you're like, it's kind of meh energy right now for you. It's kind of feeling like this can't be it, right? And that's a little bit of a thought that might creep in when things start to feel calm. And maybe, again, just a little bit, you know, just not exciting right now, perhaps for you on your path. But the truth is, peace is not boring, okay? It's unfamiliar. Okay. So this is really your moment to get used to being like emotionally safe. Okay. Not emotionally stimulated by drama. All right. So the fact that you're feeling like things perhaps in your life are just a little bit solid, stable, you know, maybe even low key boring right now. That's good. it's a good thing, okay? It's not a bad thing. Choosing peace is a good thing to do. So just know that your strength this week, it's really in your discernment, in your stillness, maybe even in your boredom, okay? Which is kind of funny. I just feel like your refusal to be shaken just because something, loud is showing up in your world, it's okay. You're not missing out. You're not missing out. So there's no need for FOMO this week. You are aligning, and that doesn't always look like super exciting. Okay. It doesn't always look super exciting. So let's see. I want to kind of get a little bit of guidance here for you. But also, if you've made it this far in the reading, I know it's not puppies, sunshine, rainbows, unicorns, roses, all the things, but it's real. So if you have made it this far, please get me a little star in the comments so that I know that you're still here. I also, like I said, I'm going to pull some guidance, and then I'm also going to try to, I don't know why I feel like this needs some like specific examples of like what could show up in this energy. I don't know. I'm going to try to get some. So we're going to get some specific examples of how this might actually look in your real life. I know. Okay. But then also guidance. Okay. So let's get the guidance, and then I'm going to try to pull some specific examples from this energy. We definitely have somebody from your love life showing up in the past, though. That's for sure. Or an old friend or something. Yeah. Okay. Page of Swords, Two of Swords, Knight of Swords, a lot of swords. You know what I just heard? And this is aging me, but I don't really care. I'm 41. I'm great with that. I grew up watching Full House, and I'll forget his name. Uncle Joey, the actor. Yeah, he's Canadian too. But anyways, he used to always say like, cut it out or whatever. And I don't know why I just heard cut it out with that sword and these combos here. So the guidance, cut it out and move forward. Okay. I mean, in a nutshell, but I'm going to just tune into this, and I'm going to try to see specific examples of what we're cutting out this week so that we are best prepared. Okay. Okay, so I have channeled 4 different like scenarios. Maybe they will all show up for you this week, maybe not. But if you want to take a moment and tune in, just like one of our previous readings where you choose your number from 1 to 4, okay? And then this could be your specific guidance, or not guidance, challenge this week. Challenge, okay? Because I feel like some of this is going to, it's going to hit very real, very personal. Okay, this week, right? So this is what might actually show up for you in your life. So I hope you have your number locked in. If you want to pop it in the comments just to really lock it in, because that might be the thing that you need to watch out for this week, okay? Number 1, so the ex, okay? The ex who ghosted you maybe at 11/11, 3 friggin' months ago, suddenly reappears with a just checking in kind of text. All right. No, absolutely no. They are not checking in. They're checking your boundaries. Okay. So that's challenge or situation number 1 that might cause you to, maybe spiral out or be tempted by the past. Okay. Situation number 2, a job opportunity or a creative project from your past will resurface. Okay. But it's going to come with the same red flags attached. You may not see them right away, but they're there, okay? So just because it's super familiar, it does not mean that it's aligned. Pay attention to the details and see how it really feels in your gut, okay? Before you make any decisions or commit to anything this week, right? Now, number 3, real life situation here. So you could be tempted to spiral about something that you thought you healed. Okay. So this could look like maybe replaying a conversation, or maybe stalking someone's social media post, like an old one, or, second guessing what a decision that you thought was already final. Okay. So Bestie, Spirit is not asking you to reprocess old pain. Spirit this week is asking if you're done revisiting it. Okay. Are you done? Are you really done? Okay. So that could be your thing this week. Number 4, last and not least. Okay. Someone may challenge your growth by accusing you of changing. Okay. As if it's a bad thing. Okay. No. Again, no, you didn't change. You evolved, right? And that is not your burden to explain, okay? It is not a bad thing that you've changed. You've grown, and that's what we're here to do, right? This is what we're here to do. So if any of these hit, you are absolutely not crazy. You're literally just in some kind of karmic test, okay? And the way through it is what we are about to talk about, because now I'm going to pop into the guidance, right? The cut it out. Okay. So, honestly, I mean, Spirit is not mincing words here. Okay. So again, Page of Swords, Two of Swords, Knight of Swords, and the Eight of Wands. The one liner here, cut it out, right? And what we're cutting out, is overthinking. Okay. That is disguised maybe as a little bit of research with the Page of Swords. Okay. Page of Swords always wants more info. Always, always, always. Okay. They are curious to a fault, right? That's why a lot of people will lean into calling this the spy energy right off the bat. Okay. They are so curious. Okay. But sometimes, it can be a little bit of a stall tactic, right? You already know. So you don't, you might be just a little bit afraid to make the final cut. Okay. Now, what else we're cutting out this week? Any kind of indecision that feels like safety. Okay. The Two of Swords energy. It's a lie that maybe I can keep one foot in both timelines. Maybe. Okay. You can't. Okay. The universe is really asking you for clarity, not your comfort this week. Okay. Clarity, making sure that you've got this, right? You are very decisive. So with the Knight of Swords vibe, I mean, it's kind of reactiveness masked as urgency. Now, what I mean by that is the Knight of Swords can really rush in without thinking. Okay. So do not let emotional reactivity sabotage what you have worked so hard to stabilize in your life, right? Take a minute, take a breath, take a beat, and then speak, act, or respond instead of react. Okay. So we're cutting out the reactivity, right, this week. And with the Eight of Songs, that's just me with my brain on singing. I love it. That's so funny. Okay. So with the Eight of Wands here under the deck, I mean, that's movement. It's momentum, right? It's a shift, right? So once you say no to any of the confusion and absolutely yes to the clarity, and you stop giving energy to dead ends, right? You're going to feel that energy open up fast. Okay. You're going to feel the shift open up fast. So, a little bit of full moon medicine this week. Say the thing, make the cut, choose the timeline that actually matches your worth. Okay. Because you're not here to repeat, you're here to rise. And if you want to lock that in the comments, do it. I'm not here to repeat, I'm here to rise. And basically, Bestie, in a nutshell, that has been your Mystic Monday download. Do not let the past finesse its way back in this week. Your future is way too good for freaking reruns. Okay? Okay. I am sending you so much love. If you like this reading, please show your girl some energy exchange. You can do that by liking or subscribing or joining our channel membership, which is fun because y'all get to see these readings early. Okay. I'm usually doing them the day before so that, I don't have to worry. They're usually done the day before and I do the thumbnail and all that stuff. And there's some other fun perks as well with that. And it really just offers support. And I appreciate that from however you are able to offer up that energy exchange for the work that I do here. I love and appreciate every single one of you. And just don't fall for it this week. Don't fall for it. Okay. Love you. Bye.